FM94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And on the phone tonight, I am talking with Lola Black and Chris, of course, with the band Lola Black. And Lola, you and I had a chance to talk a couple years ago, and I wanted to kind of catch up and find out what was going on. And first of all, how are you doing? And welcome, Chris, to The Dark, too, for the first time. How you guys doing?
Good, really good. Just staying busy.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, I love up-and-coming bands. That's what we do here on The Dark, is play a lot of up-and-coming bands. And I guess since the last time you and I had a chance to talk, Lola, that's been about 2 years now, almost 2.5 years. What has happened with the band since then? When I talked to you, it was Sorrow and Sin was your latest song out. I know you have a new album that's out now, and we can talk about that coming up. But I guess overall, kind of what has happened with you guys here in the last couple of years?
Oh man, we've been really busy just working on this album. Getting everything just the way we like it, and the traveling because we recorded in LA, so there was a lot of traveling back and forth to get that process going. And then the editing and the mastering and all that. That of course takes time, but we've just been staying busy just doing that. And we're just working with Bob Marley.
Exactly. I know you work.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, so, and then this time out, with Sorrow and Sin, Bob did that. He produced that himself. And then this time he also added in Sahaj Tickerton, helped us produce the new record, which is called Nothing's Gonna Be All Right. And Sahaj came in and really teamed up with the vocals a lot. Sahaj used to be the singer of that band Raw.
Yep.
And he's become a producer as of late, and he is just a phenomenal vocal coach and producer. So that was kind of the missing ingredient that really helped put this record to the next level. Having the dream team of both Bob and Sahaj to produce this time around. So
yeah,
so it's been going cool, and now we got a new radio guy over in the United Kingdom, so our music is reaching all ends of the globe now. So that's exciting.
That is very exciting. You'd mentioned that before we got on the air, that now not only are you American-wide, but you're worldwide, and that's a great thing, isn't it? Because they know how to rock over on the other side of the ocean, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Now, have you guys decided to do any festivals or anything over there in the future, I guess, overseas, or have you gone overseas in the last couple of years?
We have not been over there yet. But in light of the fact that we're starting to get quite a bit of airplay, like in the UK and other parts, we've actually been in touch with some new booking agents over there. So hopefully in the summer of 2019, we will be making our debut playing in the United Kingdom or elsewhere. But, that's looking like that is on the agenda for next summer, hopefully.
That's cool. That's very cool. Hey, when I had a chance to talk to Lola, obviously, we chatted about you, Chris, too, because you guys are husband-wife. And so it's nice that I get to talk now to the husband, too, here. So I want to get your take on things a little bit. I remember back when we did the interview, the one thing that Lola had said, the hardest thing for you guys being together is because originally you were the front man of a band and now had to take the back seat to Lola. How has that been going for the past few years?
Oh, it's wonderful. See, not only do you get one person in the band with lead singer's disease, you get two people in the band with lead singer's disease. So it makes the rest of the band miserable, but it works out great for us.
I do remember her saying that, too. And she said, yeah, sometimes the band just has to turn the other way because things are happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. We have a fun dynamic.
There are other couples that obviously in the rock world that get together and are in a band. Give us your take of that, I guess. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, I guess, in both ways, isn't it?
It's really neat because we get to experience a lot of things together that a lot of people don't get to experience together. So that's really cool, like being on stage and being able to travel and, get to experience the things that we've been through. It's so neat. And then obviously, like when we're on the road together, there isn't that separation. So that's kind of cool too. But then at the same time, like he said, we both have lead singers to these.
Yeah.
And we both have really strong personalities, and so sometimes, we could really, butt heads. So it gets a little tough because then the lines between band problems and relationship problems, the lines can blur from time to time, and it can kind of cross over. But we've been a lot better with it lately. Over time, it's all learning curve.
Well, Chris, I noticed you haven't put your name into the name of the band yet. It's still just Lola Black, right? It's not Lola Black and Crispy?
No, it'll stay Lola Black.
I got you.
That's awesome.
You're thinking of that. Well, I'm thinking, you got Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and you got and this and that, and then, John Cougar Mellencamp back in the day, all those kind of things. All of a sudden, names kept being added, but you guys are going to keep it the same.
Yeah, we'll keep it the same.
Nothing wrong with that. Hey, let's talk about the new album, which, I just recently, Scott sent me the stuff here not too long ago, and I'll be honest with you, I just fell in love with the album titled song, Nothing's Gonna Be All Right. That is the album and also one of the first singles off of that. Talk about that song, and I like I said, it has a different vibe that rock radio doesn't have, and I think it really, really could be a huge hit. I know you guys have had that out a little bit, but are you still trying to work on that song, or is that song kind of being put away and you're moving on to the next song?
Oh no, we that song was the inspiration for the whole album, because that's what we ended up naming the album also. But no, we'll still continue to push that song. We have another one, All In, that we just released a video for, so we kind of have been pushing that one a little bit more. But we still love Nothing's Gonna Be All Right, and we'll still roll with both of them. But the cool thing about them both is that they have different sounds, and they're so different that all the songs on the album have really just taken a life of their own, which is just really cool. So,
Lola, what has changed, I guess, from you when you did Sorrow and Sin to now this new album, I guess, musically for you? Have you changed some stuff from what you did back then?
Yeah, working with Bob and Sahaj, there's been a lot of growth. I've learned a lot from Bob over the last few years, and then working with Sahaj was new for me. But Sahaj really opened me up vocally and really pushed me to step out of my comfort zone, because that was my problem is, I wanted different results and I wanted different sounds and I wanted to experiment and just kind of fill my artistic soul, but I wasn't stepping outside the box. I was getting the same result every time. And so Sahaj was really good about helping me explore my voice and learning to really find new sounds. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of growth and a lot of change.
Yeah, he definitely pushed her out of her comfort zone, that's for sure.
And that's good. That's great.
He was the guy to do it. If anybody could pull her out and get her out of her comfort zone, Sahaj was the man.
And he is a phenomenal singer.
Right.
So, I mean, I learned so much from him. Like, everything I've learned, I mean, I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. So, I mean, he taught me a lot of special stuff.
I think that's very important for an up-and-coming band, and I talk to a lot of up-and-coming bands, and a lot of times I ask that question, is there somebody in the industry that's helping you? And a lot of times the band's like, there's a few people, but not a lot. This is great for you guys. It's somebody that's been around in the industry for a lot, plus Bob with, with Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, all that kind of stuff. That really has to help you guys out, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, and then Bob has taken a special interest in us, and we worked with him for a few years now. And we continue to learn and grow. And Bob has always been so supportive, and he's always helped us along the way.
And I think that has a lot to do with why it's catching on overseas so much, too, is the fact that, now we have a full-length out that is produced by Bob Marley and Sahaj. A lot of those foreign markets, they're like, this is the same guy that did do Rock Zombie and Alice Cooper and everything. So they're really grabbing onto it. So obviously having those names attached to the recording itself, I think, is what's really pushed us over the edge, and it really gained that international attention that we didn't have beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want to be labeled, I guess. You want to be your own thing, but you sometimes need somebody to guide you that's been in the industry to get it going, opens the door for you, and then once the door is just a little bit cracked, then and I'm just going to use this because Lola's then going to kick it in with her, 5-inch heels or whatever, and say, this is mine.
Right. Exactly.
They're black, and they're black heels too, right? Black heels?
Exactly.
Let's talk about that. I mean, last time we talked, and of course, we know Lola Black has got a lot of tattoos and that. You got any new tattoos since the last time we talked?
Probably. I probably have quite a few, actually.
Okay.
I kind of figured that at this point, I'm like, I've already gone overboard, so I might as well just keep going. So
you're not running out of room yet, are you?
I'm getting close. I still have some space. I have some big ones planned. It's going to take years and years to finish all of my stuff, but it's worth the wait because our tattoo artists, like, they're amazing. They're phenomenal, and so our pieces take a little bit longer, but we end up with beautiful art, so we're just a little picky.
How about you, Chris? I'm assuming you got a few tattoos too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty close to running out of space.
Yeah.
I got a few spots that I don't want to touch, like my rib cage, and a few spots on my stomach, and a few random spots on my legs. But outside of that, I'm kind of out of room.
You're out of room.
And then we got to the point where we have so much stuff that, then you can throw in some that are just comedy. Like, we both actually have a tattoo. We have a Chihuahua named Pedro. And so we got matching Pedro tattoos. That was pretty sweet. And he's wearing a sombrero.
Yeah, it says LBC.
Nice.
And then a bunch of years back, we got a matching Queensryche tattoo with Masterito from Pop Evil.
Yeah, we heard it.
That was fun.
You told me that story, actually. You were backstage, I remember, in some dark corner or whatever, and you guys were getting some tattoos. Maybe they weren't the best quality, but hey, that's cool, though, right?
No, not by any means, but they were fun, and there's a good story behind it. So
even the girl who did it, she was like, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I?" She's like, "Well, because all your tattoos are really good."
That's all right.
Like, yeah, just do it. She's like,
yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, let's continue to talk about your music. We're talking with Lola Black and Chris. And, the latest song, as you mentioned, that you're now starting to push is All In. And I did see the video on that, which is really cool. What's the meaning, I guess, behind that song?
Just over the years of being in the industry and working with, labels and, just different, upper people in the music industry, we've always been criticized about our look, and we've always been criticized, well, you should sound a little bit more like this, or you should look a little bit more like this, or try this, and finally we just got sick of it, and, we're just like, we're going to do what we want to do. And so the video was kind of, us just poking fun at that, and, poking fun at how the labels, try to take the wildness of rock and roll away from these bands by telling them how to dress. And we're sick of it. So we're like, nope, we're going to make fun of it, and we're going to make fun of ourselves in the process. And we ended up having a lot of fun with it. So it was good.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what you should be. You should be your own self. You shouldn't have to cookie cutter yourself, I guess, to somebody else. And and that's the thing about this industry sometimes, and I know that you've probably, most of the bands that I've talked to, at some point or another, they got burned along the way, so they learned the lesson, but you grow from that, don't you?
Oh, you do, definitely. You get that thick skin that you need, to get through. And you definitely need the thick skin to do music for sure.
And I don't think, the audience that we've been doing the show for about 8.5 years now. And I think the audience pretty realizes, at least our core audience knows that, it's not all the glamour that it turns out to be because, you're not filling arenas and all that kind of stuff. You're going to small clubs, but I'm sure you guys enjoy doing that because the fans that are coming to those small clubs are the ones that really care about your music, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're the fans that actually are the ones that stick with us the longest over the years because, it's really important to us to get to know everyone and to really, make our mark of wherever we're at. And it always seems to work out well because all of our fans, our special fans that we've met in different states at those smaller shows are the ones that are still coming to the shows years and years and years down the line. Yeah, that's the LBC.
Absolutely. How about Minnesota? Have you toured up here in Minnesota at all, guys?
No, but we definitely need to because I've been hearing a lot about Minnesota lately for some reason. So I'm like, I think it's just like a calling that we need to go to Minnesota.
Well, I tell you what.
Crash at your house, baby.
Yeah, we're going to stay with you.
You want to hang out with me? Hey, you know what? No problem. My wife and 3 daughters would love it. They love rock music. In fact, when I played the song "Nothing's Gonna Be All Right" to my wife, I said, "You got to listen to this," and she fell in love with it. She said, "I need that," so we got it, and now she jams it all the time in her new vehicle. She's got it cranked up as far as she can, so she loves it.
Right.
So absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, what's cool here is what we started doing is we have a couple festivals that we put on now every year, and it's for smaller up-and-coming bands. We call it our kickoff to Summer Bash and end of Summer Bash, which is a local bar here. We do it outdoors, an outdoor stage and all that stuff, and I think you guys would be a perfect fit maybe sometime this summer for that. Would you guys be more than willing?
Yeah, we definitely need to get it on that.
So you heard that, Central Minnesota, because we've been putting a calling out to our listeners to say, who are some of the bands that you might be interested? So Lola Black is very interested in coming to Central Minnesota.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we would love to come to Minnesota.
Well, we'll talk about that as we get off the air here, but let's talk about a few more things before we get going. Touring in 2019, what are the plans for that? You mentioned maybe going overseas eventually. How about a tour here in the U.S. of A.? Is that going to happen?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some kind of spring tour going on. Putting out the record in the fall. Winter time is kind of dead for touring.
Right.
And, depending on weather, it's kind of hard. But what's cool is we're going to have a good 6 months jump on the music already being out there, and then great radio stations such as yourself are playing the songs. So it's going to give us a good idea of what markets to actually go to and not do it blindly.
Right.
So that's where we're gonna have the really cool advantage with this record. The record's gonna have been out a little bit. We're testing the waters, seeing where it's taking off, and then we're gonna go to those places where it's taking off.
Exactly, and of course, when you're an independent band in that, you got to do those kind of things, don't you?
Yeah, you got to be wise with your money, and
or else you get stuck out there in Fargo.
yeah.
There's no gas when you get home.
Well, Fargo's only 2.5 hours from here, so we'll try not to keep you stuck there.
We'll make the stop in Fargo too.
They got a decent music scene up in Fargo, I think, don't they?
I bet they do.
Yeah, I tell you what, when they started striking the oil out in North Dakota, there were a lot of up and coming rock bands that would stop in there and play because obviously the workers were out there.
Yeah. See, where there's a demand, we will go.
There you go.
We go to the workers. We're the working man's band.
Yes, we are.
Hey, let's talk about and I think I might have asked this question to Lola before, but I don't remember because I can't remember everything I asked you. But if there was some bands that you'd love to play with in 2019, who would you love to go out on tour with? And Both of you can answer. So Lola can answer and also Chris. Who would you guys like to play with?
Deftones.
Yeah, and they got a new album coming out.
Deftones. Yeah. They're gonna need some core support.
Absolutely.
We'd love to open to. Come on, Deftones.
Come on, Deftones, take that
I
with
keep
you.
throwing it out there.
Okay, that's awesome.
One day you'll hear me.
What? All right. Well, when that album comes out, I'll have to get a hold of Chino and see if I can get an interview, and then maybe I say, "Hey, there's this band Lola Black here." Oh, he'll be like, "Yeah, I've heard of them. We want them on tour."
Yep, but we
Because like
got to plan
that chick been stopping me in her interviews for years.
How about for you, Chris? Besides the Deftones, who else would you like to maybe go out with in 19?
I think like for us, I would love to go out with Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yep.
That would be phenomenal, especially if we could do Europe with Bring Me the Horizon, because those guys are just so big over in the European market. It's ridiculous.
They are.
We've been fortunate enough to do a couple shows with Five Finger Death Punch
Right.
over the years. I think they would be a great band to go out with. Any of the festivals that we have been on, we've played, quite a few times with In This Moment. If we could get an opening gig with In This Moment or Hailstorm, Rob Zombie, I mean, just anybody. We just like to play. Somebody bring us out.
You should have a little bit of it.
Whoever will take us.
Whoever's going to take you, huh? Well, with Bob being, if Bob's helping you out, he might be able to help you out with Rob Zombie, wouldn't he?
Right?
You have to lean on him a little bit.
I know. Yeah, we're good about not asking for too many favors. So when the time is right, he knows us enough.
I gotcha.
I'm going to pull that card one day.
I know we got to get going here, but I guess for more information on the band Lola Black, where can they find that information? And by the way, where can they get the new album too?
If you go to lolablackmusic.com, there is links to all of our social media and links to buy the album.
The album it's everywhere online, so
Amazon.
It's on Spotify. The album's available everywhere, so if you can remember the name Lola Black and Lola Black Music, we are very easy to find.
And I think it would make a perfect Christmas stocking stuffer, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I think it would. I think it would be perfect, right hanging there by the tree. Lola Black. That'd be awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that anyone could really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
We wanted to make sure with this album that we could really open up our audience, and we wanted to make some songs that everyone could really enjoy.
And that's awesome. That is awesome to hear. And you know what? We're going to play one of your songs currently off the album. In fact, we're going to play the title song, Nothing's Gonna Be All Right. In fact, it's part of this week's Rock in the Dark New Music Poll. So for all you Lola Black fans out there, make sure you continue to vote. You have until Monday to vote, once per hour. So make sure you vote so Lola Black can be put into full rotation for the next couple of months. Sound good?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jay-Z.
You're the best.
Hey, love talking to you guys. Great to talk to you, Chris. As always, great to talk to you too, Lola Black. And hopefully we'll see you in 2019. Yeah, hopefully we'll do this in 19 right here in central Minnesota. You can play for us, all right?
Yeah,
That sounds perfect.
Thanks so much. Once again, their latest song is Nothing's Gonna Be All Right. You're hearing it right now. It's on The Dark. It's on FM94.